The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Film Jitsu, the podcast that wields films like deadly weapons. We are your hosts. I am Jay.
And I am Mike.
On this episode of Film Jitsu, we're paying off a debt from last year's Dueling Double Bills competition, where we each built themed double features and argued over which pairing was the superior cinematic weapon. But when we finally tallied up everything at the end of the year, we had a bit of a problem. The competition ended in a complete tie. And in Film Jitsu land, a tie means everyone loses. So we turn to you, the listeners, to decide which of our double bills we'd actually be forced to watch. And the results were cruelly inspired because the winning poll results sentenced both of us to the same movie, the legendary Tammy and the T-Rex. I had to pair it with Howard the Duck, while Mike was forced to watch it alongside Alien from L.A. That means tonight's episode is a little different. No dueling double bills this time at the end of the show. No kick two, pick two. Just 3 full movie reviews and possibly a couple completely unplanned bottom 5 lists if the spirit moves us. So let's just get started and roll the trailer for a film that both Mike and I ended up having to endure, thanks to you all, 1994's Tammy and the T-Rex.
Everything in Tammy's life is just great. But when you're young and in love, life can get very complicated, especially when it involves an insanely jealous creep.
That's my lady, all right?
Late night phone calls.
I want you to come over.
Yes!
Sneaking around in your own house.
Did you lock the door?
Don't worry.
Your boyfriend getting dumped in a wild animal park. And a crazy doctor.
Well, that's it.
Who turns out to be a mad scientist.
I mean, if you're going to make an omelet, you have to break a few eggs, right?
With an insane invention that only needs a brain. Yes! But this Tyrannosaurus Rex just wants to be a party animal.
That is my dinosaur that you are threatening. I made him and he is mine.
What are we going to do?
I will give you immortality.
Not if Tammy has anything to say about it. Tammy and the T-Rex.
Mike, when the listeners voted and we realized that both of us were stuck watching this movie, did you think this was going to be fun bad or just bad bad?
I knew it by reputation, and I thought we were in for a really bad film, like a world-class bad time at the movies.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you that after having watched it, Tammy and the T-Rex is the dumbest, cheapest, most utterly ridiculous, what the fuck waste of celluloid ever filmed. And I absolutely loved it.
Good. Yes.
This might be my new favorite bad movie.
Ooh, that unseats the brain, right? Wasn't it the brain?
It might unseat the brain. I had so much fun watching this film. I cannot believe that anybody would have a bad word to say about this movie. Maybe you do. I don't know. But I think perhaps the listeners let themselves down here by not pre-screening the movie themselves and finding out that it is a wall-to-wall madcap delight of a shit show.
It's so true. One thing I wanted to ask you real quick was, did you watch the uncut edition or did you watch the PG-13 version?
Yeah, this goes back to my favorite thing is how did Mike watch a movie? We had a little bit of a different issue, which is what the hell movie are we even watching? So last week when we were trying to figure out the movie, I referred to it as Tammy and the T-Rex. And you were like, no, Mike, it's called Tammy and the teenage T-Rex. And I was like, Jason, I'm looking at IMDb and Letterboxd, and you're like, I am looking at the actual movie right now. And I was like, what planet are we on? These are not the same thing. But it turns out that, yes, the uncut version of this film was originally titled Tanny, which that's not a name.
Not a name.
Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex.
Mhm.
She appears in the credits as Tanny,
Mm-hmm.
even though they call her Tammy the entire movie. So I did, in fact, watch the uncut version on Tubi
Yep.
of
Me too.
Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex.
Great. So all the gore was intact.
Oh, yes. Thank goodness for that.
There's vomit. There's gore.
Mhm.
There's a head that gets sawed open.
Mm-hmm.
The head of, I think we should talk about it. I mean, it's Paul Walker
Yes.
from the Fast and the Furious franchise,
For sure.
playing the teenager Michael, who was flirting with or fell for Denise Richards, who had an ex-boyfriend who was a cruel bully, who for some reason had the best friend of Sean Whalen from Twister.
Inexplicably, just beloved that guy, Sean Whalen.
Yeah.
Also a flunky. Denise Richards is dating a high school student who is also apparently just a known murderer. Like
Right.
everybody in town knows this guy is like, he's dangerous. And he just rolls around with his
Posse.
band of flunkies in their
Yeah.
Jeeps and their convertibles and just hop out and commit crimes in broad daylight in front of the police, which is just completely acceptable. And the issue here is that Denise Richards has fallen for Michael, the football star of the high school. And of course, this is unacceptable. And so murder must take place after a series of ridiculous encounters back and forth. And I have to say, we don't have a jitsu for fight scene.
You can
But
talk
if
about
we
the ball
did-
grabbing.
Oh yeah, the double crotch clutch would win in a landslide. Where these two guys, it's not a real fight. And this is what makes the movie so fun is you think you're going to have that schoolyard brawl between these two high school guys. And instead they grab each other by the crotch. The boyfriend drops elbows like Macho
Yes.
Man style.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
It's
and
so
I
absurd.
couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah.
But I can't think of a better way to kill your high school crush's new boyfriend other than abandoning him in your local big cat wildlife sanctuary so that he can get murdered by an assortment of enormous felines. Right? I mean,
I
right?
couldn't believe that this no-budget movie somehow got access to all of these cheetahs,
Panthers.
and a lion, a
whole-ass
full-size
lion.
mother-grabbing lion
Yep.
comes out and mauls a guy.
So we see this lion take Michael to the ground and maul the shit out of him.
Yep, that's right.
Cut. Now we're in the hospital and it's just Paul Walker who looks sleepy in a bed. His face would have been eaten off. Just a lion eats your face. That's what a lion does. But he's just kind of sleepy in the bed. I guess that means we got to kill him, take his brain and put it in a dinosaur.
There's never any rationale really from mad
Thank
scientist
Goodness.
Terry Kaiser, who clearly understood the assignment better than anyone else in this movie.
Jason, candidate for the People's Choice Award for sure.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Terry Kaiser, who is slipping in and out of like the most dramatic mad scientist accent and also sometimes just sounds like Bernie mid-sentence. I loved it.
It's an infallible twist of fate when God takes someone so young and innocent. But we must remember that he is going to a far, 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 far better place.
He chews scenery like only a man who once spent 2 entire movies convincingly playing a corpse could. You know, it's like he was like, you know what? This time I'm going big. He just went completely wild, and it works.
Mm-hmm.
It totally works.
Everything about this movie works. Denise Richards works.
During that fight scene that we were just talking about with the crotch clutches,
Yes, the crotch clutch. Yep.
she tried to outact Tandy Newton in Crash. Her scream,
Uh-huh.
and then in the following scene where she's all sad, it looks like they poured like a tremendous amount of eye drops into her eye to try to get into. They're so red, so bloodshot, and she's just sobbing and whatnot. But she's not consistent, right? Like she goes big, she goes deep. I don't know why, but she does. Kaiser, as the mad scientist, is consistently cartoonish, and I kind of love it.
This man needs his entire movie. I don't care what it is, like Tammy and the T-Rex Part 2, it needs to just be Terry Kaiser. I would watch that whole thing. And
his weird lab staff, I have to say.
His almost naked all the time BDSM assistant nurse for some reason.
Don't know why.
Nobody does know why. And that's the brilliance of this movie. I was thinking a lot about The Room when I watched this, because The Room is a movie that is just unintentionally insane, and you could never replicate it again if you tried. This movie is the exact opposite of that, wherein everybody knew exactly what they were doing. Like, they wanted to make the perfect USA Up All Night bad movie where everything is big and stupid and fun, and everybody knew exactly the film that they were making, and then went out and made exactly that film flawlessly. It was so fun. Jay, this is the closest I've come to feeling like Frankenhooker might be in trouble for the most fun you can have watching a movie.
Yeah, this was a berserk, absolutely insane affair. From the very start of the credits during the cheerleading sequence, all the way to the ending strip sequence with Denise Richards doing the most PG-rated strip sequence in history at the very end, to a brain in a petri dish. Which,
correct me if I'm wrong, but does this movie not conclude with what I believe to be cinema's first example of an exposed brain orgasm?
Yes.
Right?
It short circuits.
It reaches completion in its petri dish.
That's right.
And it concludes with like Paul Walker's voice going, "Oh, you got to get me a body," and then roll credits. It was amazing. How good is Paul Walker in this movie?
He's so charismatic, and he's doing full-on teen romance here. But he has that ability to know what he's doing, where he is.
Yep.
I don't think Denise Richards necessarily knew, but I think Paul Walker knew what was going on here and having a bit of fun with it. Understood that this was probably a good opportunity for him to look good, and so he did it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I must say, the scene where they cut his head open was shockingly good.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Most of the effects in this movie are pretty atrocious, especially the dinosaur robot. We can get into that. But really, anytime there are gore effects or anything, it's just people holding their entrails in front of their chest. And then the dinosaur pulls away and they're just holding it, and then they drop all of their guts. Yeah. That happens to Sean Whalen and Terry Kaiser.
Or occasionally ripping off a fake head that doesn't look anything like the head of the person who got their head ripped off.
That's so true.
I love it.
More than one. I think they reused the head of the computer nerd technician who was part of that world's weirdest lab staff crew. Yep. You know, because there was the computer nerd technician who looked like a little Paul Williams. And then there was a muscle-bound goon who just, his job seemed to be generic henchman who occasionally commits small crimes. And then there's the lab assistant who just wore like a lab coat over nightclub wardrobe.
Yeah.
And that assistant, by the way, is played by Ellen Dubin, who right after Terry Kaiser dropped his guts after being bit by the dinosaur, runs away screaming after being sprayed with gore. And they cut to a shot that is out of focus and shaky, where she is trying to pull her skirt down past her ass. Right? In no way, shape, or form was that a legit shot. That was an outtake that they shoved in because somebody thought, oh, we don't have enough T and A in this. Here's the A. Just threw it in. Ellen Dubin, wherever you are, I apologize on behalf of filmmakers everywhere. That probably shouldn't have happened.
Speaking of this crew, the tech guy. Did you happen to catch who that is?
No, who is he? Because he looked familiar.
That was John Franklin, who audiences would know best as Isaac from the Children of the Corn films.
Oh my God, that's why he looked so familiar.
Yep. I met John Franklin one time and I watched him and Courtney Gaines set up a folding table together. It was a delight. You haven't lived until you've seen Isaac and Malachi setting up a folding table in a cornfield. It was really quite something. So I was so thrilled to see him in this movie. There's a lot of faces in this movie that some are really very memorable because they're people that we know, right? Like
Buck Flowers.
Buck Flowers, the Buck
People
Flowers.
would probably mostly know him from They Live, I think. He plays the hobo that sells out the human race basically
That's
for
right.
a tuxedo and a buffet.
Yep.
He has one of my favorite lines in this movie. There were some great examples of just tossed in, dubbed over lines in this one.
Yeah.
It's that crazy doctor and that lanky bitch again.
In that amazing voice.
And
of
it
his.
just dropped in. It's so good.
And then Efren Ramirez as the pizza delivery boy, who audiences will know as Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite. So there are so many faces.
Yes, I saw him and I was like, is that Pedro? And it was?
It
Oh
is
my
Pedro.
God.
It's his first acting credit. Yep.
Oh, no way. Wow.
Yeah.
The great thing about that scene is he takes off out a door and I stopped the film and rewound it for my son and pointed to the top left. There is just an egregious shadow of a boom mic.
I love it. We could really go scene by scene in this movie because almost all of them are worth talking about, but none maybe more so than what I like to call the Nightmare on Elm Street 2 pool party scene. In Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy comes out and just goes ape shit at a pool party. We get that exact same thing here, except it's an animatronic T-Rex that just lays waste to a shitload of teenagers, including the bully and his girlfriend, who are just like loudly and violently humping in a car, but nobody has their pants off. It's amazing.
In an open convertible. And there's a great shot in that sequence where the T-Rex comes down and is holding her upside down by the leg.
Right.
And she's just hanging there.
Yep.
It's great. She's screaming. It's really, really funny.
I can't believe that we have two other movies we have to talk about because I could just talk about this.
I could too. I think it's important to talk a little bit about the funeral scene, which might be the most unhinged. The drunk uncle delivers a rambling graveside eulogy so emotional it makes everyone cry, including the dinosaur, which somehow is not noticed by anyone because it's standing behind a small tree.
It's so funny.
And then Denise Richards is wearing the most ridiculous crushed red velvet dress this side of a vampire movie, right?
It's like Blossom cosplay. She looked like Mayim Bialik in this thing. It was ridiculous.
They want to prove basically his brain has been removed and put into this dinosaur. And they open his casket and he's rotten with maggots. She screams. I mean, again, another absolute standout moment for Denise Richards. And there are mice coming out of the suit.
But just perfectly kept, obviously well-loved mice for the production.
Yes.
They want us to think, of course, that this is like a rotting corpse full of like maggots and rats and stuff.
No.
But instead, they're like the most adorable little pet mice that like out of this grave.
They
like
really
stuck
were.
to her legs and stuff. It's so funny.
Stuck to the
so
dress.
Good. And there are so many times where a giant T-Rex is just peeking around the corner of something in a way that makes no sense, that everybody around wouldn't just see a T-Rex standing there. Like, add to that the like Swedish chef gesticulations of the hands.
The hands are so great because we all know that T-Rexes have these tiny hands, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this movie refuses outright, and it makes it part of the gag to have the short hands stay short.
Right.
And it's clearly human arms inside some sort of really poorly formed latex. And they completely move like human hands and do human things. And at one point, he makes a phone call at a payphone. And then after he hangs up and he actually tries to get the change out with the T-Rex talon.
Unbelievable.
That's such a good moment to indicate just how smart and how dumb it is at the same time. It is so much fun. Directed by Stuart Raffel. It was kind of surprising to me because he also directed a fairly enjoyable cult sci-fi film called The Philadelphia Experiment with Michael Pare, which I liked, but it would not clue you in to a guy having this kind of sense of humor.
Right.
But he also directed, Mike, Mac and Me, the infamous E.T. knockoff that was immortalized by Paul Rudd, repeatedly trolling Conan O'Brien with the same wheelchair cliff clip on Conan's show. He would say to Conan, okay, well, we've got this exclusive clip for you from my new movie. And then they would show this scene from Mac and Me every single time.
Yeah. Fun fact that you didn't know about. Had we not had to do our Dueling Double Bill episode, Mac and Me was the next film I was going to give you.
Oh my God.
I was going to make you watch Mac and Me. And then we did this instead, which kind of pulls Mac and Me off the table, at least for now. But this was so much better than Mac and Me could ever be.
It's so true.
And the fun thing is, we have to give this guy credit for why this movie exists, because the genesis for this entire thing was that Stuart Raffel had access to this animatronic T-Rex for a couple of weeks before it was going to be sent off to, I think, like a museum or just some on display somewhere. And he was like, well, if I'm going to have a fully functioning animatronic T-Rex for a couple weeks, I have to make a movie. And he built this entire movie around the fact that he was going to have a T-Rex. And this is what you come up with when you A, have a T-Rex, and B, only have a few weeks to make a movie.
I think the thing that's always going to stand out for me as the piece de resistance during the pool party scene, as you described it, right? This outdoor party of teenagers that's very reminiscent of Nightmare on Elm Street 2. There's music playing, except the music is just simply dropped in. There's no ambient noise added. It's like a CD track playing low in the background. So there's dancers and people moving around, and all of the sound is recorded at that time. So no one is talking.
Right.
There is no actual music being played, and the people are giving their dialogue, and you can hear in the background all the shuffling of bodies and shoes moving and clothes rustling. And I don't know if it was intentional. I tend to think it was, based on all of the things with this film being pretty intentional. If none of this is intentional, then this is The Room. You do realize that, right?
Yes, I do.
This is someone looking at something like Howard the Duck and saying, I can do that, and then doing it the way that Tommy Wiseau would do it.
For sure.
I tend to think that this guy does know how to make films, knows how to make them cheap, knew what he was doing, and he had a great time. And I love the fact that both of us thought that this was awesome.
I don't know if our audience got what they wanted here, if they were trying to give us a gift, or if this just blew up in their face. I don't know. But I want to thank whoever voted for Tammy and the T-Rex, because they gave me what is genuinely the best cinematic experience I expect to have in all of 2026. Well, as we move into our second review, this is really like a fastball down the middle for Jason Santo, as far as I'm concerned. We are now going to talk about 1986's Howard the Duck, the film that I believe I paired with Tammy and the T-Rex in our very first Dueling Double Bill. I don't know why, now that I think about it.
Are you kidding? They're terrific together. I know, because I actually did the double bill.
Yeah.
Howard the Duck is tonally confused and has absolutely no idea what it's doing. Tammy and the T-Rex may as well. I'm not sure, or it's just a joke. I'm not sure what's true, but I do know that Howard the Duck was not intentional. The writer and director of Howard the Duck, this guy named Willard Hayek, he had a pretty impressive resume. Both he and his wife had collaborated with George Lucas on American Graffiti. And they later helped write like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. They were like consultants on the early development of Star Wars, like the first movie.
Right.
Like these people dug in deep in Lucasfilm lore. And yet, when people think of William Hayek now, they think of Howard the Duck. And why? Because it's just this glorious, bewildering mess of a misfire.
Yeah.
I know it's a terrible film.
Yep.
We can like terrible film. I mean, Tammy the T-Rex is an awful movie, but it's a great movie. You said it. And that's exactly what this film is. Why they made it? In 86, George Lucas decided to attempt the impossible and tried to make a weird satirical Marvel comic about a cigar-smoking anthropomorphic duck into this big Hollywood action movie. Okay. The character had been created by Steve Gerber in the 1970s as a kind of like absurdist social commentary. So it's almost like if you filtered Mad Magazine through a Marvel comic.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's
Right.
a great way to look at it. Yep.
But Hollywood took it and made it something completely different. So this movie stars a combination of two performers to bring Howard to life, plus a lot of special effects. Howard is a duck, in case anybody couldn't figure that out from the title. The guy that plays Howard, Ed Gale, does as good a job as he can within this malfunctioning special effect of a suit. He had a really good career, and then late in life, he got kind of trapped in a sting operation.
Oh,
and was revealed to be soliciting a minor and stuff. It was weird stuff, which then you have to kind of tie it into Jeffrey Jones, who was in this movie as the scientist.
Howard the Duck is problematic as fuck.
Yeah, basically, it really, really is. And yet, I still love it.
Yeah.
I still quote it. There are lines throughout this film that I quote, including Jeffrey Jones lines. I don't know if that makes me bad, but I too often say,
If you can't take the heat, get out of that kitchen.
At the beginning of the film, he's living in his ordinary world, duck world, right? Where you have things like Play Duck magazine. There's all these commercials on his TV.
I hate it when movies do this, when they take the Earth version of something and just throw, like, instead of Playboy, it's Play Duck, as if these two separate universes that exist apart from one another would somehow have the exact same things, but just on theme with, I can't, it happens in Alien from LA, which we will get to, but I hate it when movies do this. And Howard the Duck does it constantly.
It does it constantly, but again, I think that the idea, at least in the source material, was satire.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes off as just really lazy and dumb. It doesn't seem to bother me too much, although it is weird when you see like a naked duck and it has breasts. That is
this is the movie with a duck boner in it, if I'm not mistaken.
It has a romantic problem, let's just say. Okay. Like, that's the nice way to say it.
That's extremely diplomatic of you.
Yes, I think so. But have you seen Leah Thompson in this movie?
Yeah.
You said off air, like, we were very good about not talking about what a smoke show Denise Richards was in Tammy and the T-Rex. I think partly why this makes such a good pairing is you get another smoke show and Leah Thompson playing Beverly here. At one point, she's just full on in like nothing but a nightie, and she's making moves on Howard. She puts her hand across his head and his feathers stand up. And I want to give credit to Thompson here. She is note perfect in every way in this film. And I don't think she's given the credit that she deserves for being able to act opposite this awkward-looking, Uncanny Valley-esque Muppet, right? I mean, she does such a great job throughout the whole thing.
I'd like to dedicate this song to our new manager. Get that planet on the phone. Ain't no time to waste.
The band in the movie is called Cherry Bomb. All of the songs, I believe, were produced with help by Thomas Dolby, the synth pop artist known for She Blinded Me with Science. So Leah Thompson's great. She went through and really, really learned as best she could how to lip sync the songs, how to sing the songs, how to play the guitar. And she comes off as pretty authentic. What I found was interesting with her vocals were provided by Holly Robinson. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because she starred on the original 21 Jump Street TV show with Johnny Depp.
Huh.
I could talk all day about Howard the Duck, to be perfectly honest. I could talk about John Barry's score, which at first I thought, oh, whoever wrote this score is trying to do John Williams. And then I'm listening to the sweeping, bowing, low section of an orchestra that the cellos and such work together in this low mode. And it is such a John Barry thing. And I'm thinking to myself, oh man, this is, whoever's doing this wasn't going after John Williams. They're going after John Barry, not realizing that John fucking Barry did the score to Howard the Duck. Amazing.
It seems like the problem with Howard the Duck was Howard the Duck, because everything else that you talk about, right? The score and Leah Thompson and the effects is like, all of this stuff is kind of working. Then you got this goddamn duck in here that's just being super horny all the time. If Howard the Duck didn't have Howard the Duck, it'd be a hell of a movie.
It's problematic as fuck. There's a condom in Howard's wallet.
It's about an animatronic wisecracking duck.
Yes.
And for some reason, it's just super horny the whole time.
I think it's because it was the 80s. I don't know.
It was the 80s seems to be our go-to explanation for everything problematic or weird. And it's not wrong, but it is useful.
I will say that the tonal confusion in general is one of this film's strangest elements. It's 1 minute it is a goofy family sort of sci-fi adventure. The next minute it's making these suspiciously romantic scenes between a human woman and a 3-foot tall extraterrestrial fowl. I don't know who this movie was made for, and it remains one of cinema's greatest mysteries.
Yep.
And I'm inclined to just say it was made for me.
It could have been. It could have been. Maybe part of the problem is that if you look at the film, even just the poster, it looks like this is supposed to be for kids. Even the font is very cartoonish. Like everything about this looks like, oh, this is a fun, silly kids movie, right? Howard's wearing sunglasses. He's reading Rolling Stone. It really does telegraph like this is a movie that kids would enjoy. And then you get there and it's mostly boners and that's not okay.
Mike, I think what this movie is ultimately is an attempt to do what Tammy and the T-Rex did successfully. But this movie does it unsuccessfully because it can't get away from making things look cool. They want to hide the strings. Tammy and the T-Rex did not want to hide the fact that there was a human arm inside the T-Rex prosthetic. But in Howard the Duck, it is painfully obvious that they tried so hard to make Howard, and it's impressive, I want to say. The animatronics, 1986, I would rather watch this version of Howard than I would the one from Guardians in the Galaxy, the CG one.
Yeah.
I like this design better. I like the way the eyes open up. I like the performance. The vocal performance is great. A Broadway actor named Chip Zane is the person that gave the voice to him. I prefer this, but it is not able to make fun of itself, even though it uses stop motion during the latter sequences in the film where these interdimensional extraterrestrial demons come to Earth and possess Jeffrey Jones's character. And there's lightning and explosions that look like they came right out of Ghostbusters, right out of ILM. It's just kind of cool. And so it doesn't achieve what Tammy and the T-Rex did on a fraction of the budget.
Yeah.
And of course, this was a box office disaster.
Big time.
What I think is fascinating about this is, despite the fact that it's sort of a footnote in the career of Lucas and the career of Lucasfilm, or really perhaps a black sheep, like we talked about, this would have been. But did you know that Howard the Duck led to the accidental birth of Pixar?
No.
At the time the movie was made, George Lucas had just completed construction on the Skywalker Ranch.
Yeah.
And it's an enormous production facility. It cost something like $50 million. And there was this brand new computer graphics division that was dedicated to developing like cutting edge digital imagery. Then Howard the Duck came out. It bombed. He needed money. Steve Jobs enters this story. Jobs had just left Apple. He was looking for interesting technology to invest in. Lucas decided to sell off the computer graphics division of Lucasfilm. Jobs bought the entire unit in 86 for about $10 million. And then he put up like another $5 million in funding. And that group eventually became Pixar.
Wow. So the next time I find myself weeping in the first 8 minutes of Up, I can just curse out Howard the Duck?
If you need to.
Cool.
Mike, interestingly enough, the voters somehow paired me with your double bill for Tammy and the T-Rex, which meant, for some reason, that you got my double bill for Tammy the T-Rex, which was 1988's Alien from LA, directed by the legendary, the infamous Albert Pyun. It's a canon film, baby. One of the few, if we have not delved into much in the canon filmography, I don't think.
Surprising.
Not really. Yeah, it is. It's shocking. At a lean 87 minutes, this couldn't have been that painful for you to watch, but it is an awful, awful movie.
It's bafflingly bad in that the whole time you're watching it, you're waiting for the good movie to start, and it never does any of the things that you think this movie would or should do. And if we are going to heap praise on Denise Richards for Tammy and the T-Rex, then we have to start with Kathy Ireland in Alien from LA.
For sure.
Who is unbearable from the start to the end of this movie and every fucking moment in between. Not just, oh, she's a supermodel who can't act. You could forgive her that. She is making choices in this movie and is aggressively trying to piss me off constantly. I don't know how anybody made it through this movie. I have to ask myself, like, you would think after the first day of filming, taking a look at the dailies, somebody would be like, oh, no, we can't do this. This is not going to work as a movie. We can't, this character cannot be the centerpiece of an entire feature film.
Robbie, please! Let's talk about it! I can change! I want to change! Just tell me what you don't like about me!
I won't change, Wanda.
Please, Robbie! Give me a chance! What don't you like about me and I'll change?
All right, your glasses make you look stupid, your hair's ugly, you dress like a nerd, you walk like a clod, and your voice gives me a headache. Is that enough?
It's the voice.
It is the voice. I was going to ask. That's really the whole thing.
It's like the worst Betty Boop. I don't know what the hell's happening. And here's the thing. We are told at the beginning that she is unattractive and awkward and annoying.
Right. Did you know that she was originally cast to be a flirtatious sort of like Madonna-like character, but she was rewritten into this clumsy nerdy girl right before filming began.
And the way we know this is because they just have big glasses on on otherwise flawless genetic specimen Kathy Ireland. So I'm thinking for sure, like, oh, this movie's just gonna she's all that Kathy Ireland in 5 minutes. No, it doesn't do that. It continues to ask us to accept that she is not a supermodel. There's a moment where she puts her face in a machine and it's like, this machine is going to make you the most beautiful version of yourself that you could ever possibly be. And I'm like, okay, now the movie's, here we go, right? Nope. It just kind of like straightens her hair out a little bit. I almost threw my remote through the television when I was like, are you telling me that the voice is staying after this? Because I thought that was the out. I thought like, okay, we have met the nerdy, awkward, annoying version of this character. And now we're going to get Kathy Ireland Smoke Show as the heroine throughout the rest of the film. Nope. No, the voice never stops. It never stops. It never goes away. It never changes. It never ends. She talks in this voice constantly. I hear it in my dreams. I hear it in my nightmares. I hear it right now. When I talk, her voice is now coming out of my mouth. I can't even hear my own voice anymore. I just hear Kathy Ireland in my head.
Oh, I love it.
No, it's unbearable.
And it's a very affected performance. It's very like forced.
It is.
Yeah.
If I have to hear her say dad one more time in my life, she said, I'm looking for my dad. And like, Jason, I feel like that's the last sound that's going to go through my head right before my heart stops. Hopefully not for decades. Like I will have lived a rich, full life full of love and adventure and friendship. And in my last fucking moment, I'm going to hear dad and I'm going to die.
Here's the thing with Film Jitsu, okay? As good as our show might be when we're doing film criticism or we're talking about things that we like, it never gets as good as when you really hate what you watched.
When I have to contemplate my own death. Every once in a while, we watch a movie so bad it makes me contemplate my own death.
Bring me the aliens. I'll first speak to Wanda, then decide whether to free them or terminate.
The whole thing is she's in LA for a minute, falls into a bottomless pit and ends up in the lost city of Atlantis, which is in the center of the earth.
Yes.
That's it. She's looking for her father, who is a professor that has also fallen into the lost city of Atlantis, which is in the center of the earth. And we get down there and now you're like, okay, world building, right? We're going to get down into this other world. It's underground, all of that kind of stuff. And it is some sort of bizarre combination between like Mad Max meets Dune, but sort of like on the set of Fraggle Rock, kind of. It's terrible.
Yep.
Like the production design.
Like a community theater version of Mad Max.
And I think almost super intentionally, because one of the big problems of this film is that it never finds itself a hero because the main character is absolutely unlikable the whole time.
Right.
When she fell in that hole, I was hoping she would just splat at the bottom and we'd start over with somebody else. That didn't happen. But she meets this knucklehead with the heaviest Australian accent.
Oh my God.
Max Rockatansky style, right? And so I'm here thinking, like, okay, now we've got the action hero of this thing. But that goober is gone almost as fast as he's there. He's just kind of bops in and out. His name is Gus, I think. Hey, Gus! I can't. It makes me so angry.
All the characters had different accents.
Yes.
Like there was British, there was Australian, there was Swedish. Mm-hmm. They were all in there.
And if the whole idea is that they have been in the center of the earth this whole time with no awareness of the surface world, right? To them, she is an alien because she has come down from the surface. They don't even believe that aliens are real. So their whole world is supposed to be this self-contained civilization that was born kind of in parallel to what happened on the surface. So it's an underground world, but they have things that like are kind of connected to on the surface. Like, why would there be a super heavy, thick Australian accent underground? It doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, why does Star Wars have space British people?
But at least it's kind of consistent. Like, that's the thing. It's like,
right. I agree.
This is just all over the place.
There
and it's
no
not
rules.
Subtle. And then we are almost finished with this movie. And I remembered the credits because there was a highlight in the credits for me. So the first two things I saw, Kathy Ireland, and I was like, okay, well, that'll be what I watch in the movie, right? Is Kathy Ireland. And then Tom Matthews is next, who horror fans know from the Friday the 13th series, but for me, obviously from Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah. absolutely.
And he's so fun. He's one of those kind of, you have to be sort of a horror guy to know who he is and give a shit that he's in a movie. But I do.
Yeah.
And I was. And I waited the whole fucking movie and he's not there. And he's not there, even though he's got top billing on this movie. And then he shows up in like the last 10 minutes for no reason. He's just there. And he's like, oh, hey, Kathy Ireland, can I help get you out of here? And she's like, no. And he leaves and comes back a couple of times. And then at the end of the movie, she has made it back to the surface. This guy pulls up on a motorcycle, gives her like a wink, wink, because now she's a smoke show. And the only thing that is different about her now from the beginning of the movie is that now she's wearing a bikini.
Ah, yes.
That's it.
Okay.
She's in a bikini now. And the guy's like, boo. It's the same voice. It's everything about her that was unbelievably annoying. This whole movie is still true about her in the final scenes of the movie. Only the underground boyfriend fella shows up in a motorcycle and she's like, well, I guess it's us now. And that's the end of the movie.
Jesus Christ.
So difficult to enjoy in so many phases of a film. Like, I didn't like it in the surface, on the beach, like the LA part. And then underground somehow got worse. We go back to the surface. Nope. Still sucks up here too. Terrible.
I think we got to take a moment and talk a little bit about Albert Pyon before we wrap all this up. Okay. Mm-hmm. He was a cult figure of the late 80s and 90s B-movie filmmaking circuit. And he had this reputation for being able to work incredibly fast, and he could stretch tiny budgets into feature films that at least kind of looked bigger than they really were. And that skill made him really attractive to studios like, Canon Films.
Right.
Which they specialize in inexpensive genre movies. So his breakout success came in 1989 with Cyborg, which is a movie I know you love.
I do love, and I think we should maybe do on an episode of the show.
It's a post-apocalyptic action movie that stars Jean-Claude Van Damme that was shot in just a few weeks. It went on to become a big cult hit on home video. And then Pyon spent much of his career working in the sci-fi and action genres, directing movies like Nemesis, The Sword and the Sorcerer, and he fucking did the original Captain America movie in 1990. Alien from LA was right in the midst of his career, and it fit right into his wheelhouse. It was a strange, kind of weirdly ambitious sci-fi adventure. It was made on a shoestring of budget. Apparently, he was asked to finish another troubled Canon production called Journey to the Center of the Earth. And he was going to do that for free because he wanted the studio to fund Alien from LA for around $1 million. And Canon agreed. So this movie exists because Pyon negotiated it as like a side project payment. Is it peak Canon Film energy right
absolutely,
there?
Yeah, absolutely.
And peak Albert Pyon energy right there.
Something bad had to have come out of this Dueling Double Bill. And I should have seen it coming because I should have been watching Tammy and the T-Rex and been like, there is some sort of karmic fuckery that is coming for me in the dark because our audience didn't just gift me two glorious movies. I think they kind of got it wrong on the first one and maybe didn't know that I was going to have a brand new favorite terrible film. But holy shit, did they hit a grand slam with Alien from LA? And I should have seen it coming. Like I had to, I don't want to be on the show anymore. I'm done. I'm done on the show. I'm done on the show. They broke me. I always thought it was going to be you, and it wasn't you. It was them the whole time.
Technically, it's still me. I'm the one that made that double bill.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So, Mike, this show was so long because we had to do 3 films that we didn't really have time to do our usual bottom 5. We didn't have our usual time to do our games. But, of course, I can't personally do an episode of Film Jitsu without a bottom 5.
Yeah. Yeah, who do you think you're messing with, Jason? Do you not think that I didn't also come prepared for exactly this thing?
So what did you do as your bottom 5 out of curiosity?
I did bottom 5 Tammys, T-Rexes, Howards, and or Aliens.
Okay.
That's right, because we watched Tammy and the T-Rex, Howard the Duck, Alien from LA. So my bottom 5 is bottom 5, Tammy's, T-Rexes, Howard's, and or aliens. I covered all of it. Here we go. We're going to keep it brief. I'm just going to fire it off at you. My number 5, the film Tammy from 2014, starring Melissa McCarthy as the titular Tammy. For me, this is the tipping point where a foul-mouthed, freaking out Melissa McCarthy started to become kind of exhausting. My number 4, from Jurassic World Rebirth, it's the Distortus Rex. This is a mutated T-Rex with 6 arms and a head that looks like an uncircumcised penis. The idiotic genetic gobbledygook that this franchise is putting out is just next level. My number 3, I can't believe I get to mention this movie twice already this year, and it's only March, but it's Howard Langston from Jingle All the Way, as played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Wow.
Yeah, because
twice.
That's right.
And it's not even the holidays.
It's not even a little. Nope. But aside from the fact that he's a completely shit dad, can we all just agree that no one in the history of ever that looks and sounds anything like Arnold Schwarzenegger has ever been named Howard Langston? Get the fuck out of here with that, right? Number 2, sir, I checked the Hall of Lame. We might really need to update that bad boy because I'm sure glad we haven't yet. My number 2 are the shit weasels from Dreamcatcher. There is no bottom 5 alien more than a shit weasel. That's right. No. And so with that, I am officially declaring them inducted into the Hall of Lame.
They're in.
But for now, number 2, the shit weasels. And my number 1, bottom 5, Tammy's, T-Rexes, Howard's, and or aliens. I'm closing with another T-Rex from Trey Parker and Matt Stone's NC-17 rated film Orgasmo.
Oh, I love that film.
Yeah, it's the plus-sized porn star T-Rex. She lives up to the title, and I'm going to spare all of us the description. If you know, you know. You can Google it, but definitely do not Google it at work.
Why do they call her T-Rex?
Hi, fellas, I'm ready to fudge.
Oh my gosh!
You want me on top?
No, I'll be on top.
You're gonna make me come, or I'm gonna kick your butt.
Imagine for a guy who like lives in movie quotes, there's just like this one nuclear option in my brain that it's like, well, if I ever want to ruin all my friendships, but also finally get this out, I got it ready to go.
Oh God.
The fact that I never said it at a Jason Santo dinner party is a miracle.
It is surprising.
Just like, how many miracles do you have to perform to get to be a saint? Because when I die, if you're like, he never said at my house full of like family and friends, you're going to make me come or I'm going to kick your butt. That counts to me as at least one miracle in the ledger. So I think like what you need 2, I think maybe.
I think so.
So yeah, one more miracle and that's it.
Looking at my 2 movies, Tammy the T-Rex and Howard the Duck, the one thing that stood out to me were there were a crazy mad scientists in both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to shoot through my list as well. And at my number 5 is Dr. Alex Hess from Junior 1994. Instead of doing proper trials, he just goes straight to human testing on himself, resulting in the most uncomfortable pregnancy comedy ever filmed.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bizarre combination of medical experimentation and sitcom logic. Arnold Schwarzenegger now on both of our lists on completely different bottom 5s.
Who saw that coming?
Damn, look at that. At number 4, Dr. Goldfoot from Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine from 1965. We needed one absurd comedy pick. This is it. It's a fun one. Vincent Price as a scientist creating bikini-clad female robots to manipulate wealthy men. And this is total lunatic. Frankie Avalon's in it. Why have we not watched this yet? Keep your schedule clear. Number 3, Dr. Moreau from the island of Dr. Moreau.
Quite clearly.
Of course. Classic mad scientist type, isolated genius, God complex, grotesque hybrid experiments, total moral collapse. In the 96 version, Moreau has created the beast folk in an attempt to forge a, quote, perfect species, which is exactly the kind of sentence that should get someone's lab funding revoked forever. Plus, he wore that tunic with the ice bucket on his head. So that is a serious problem. Number 2, how could I not have this on my fucking list?
Mm-hmm.
Seth Brundle.
The Brundle
from
Fly.
The Fly. 1986. Tests teleportation on himself before fixing that bug problem. When a housefly slips into the chamber, his DNA begins fusing with it at the molecular level, turning a scientific breakthrough into one of cinema's most revolting cautionary tales about impatience and ego. And finally, my number 1, the stupidest mad scientist of all time, Dr. Susan McAllister from Deep Blue Sea. Genetically enhances shark brains, then acts surprised when they become smarter than humans.
Right.
Her Alzheimer's research turns a remote ocean lab into an all-you-can-eat buffet for 3 hyper-intelligent mako sharks that quickly start outthinking the entire staff. No one's surprised that LL Cool J is one of the staff.
Jay, after 3 reviews and 2 bottom 5s that were not sanctioned by the league, it is now the time in the episode when I get to reveal what film it is you watch for our upcoming episode. I was inspired by Tammy and the T-Rex. Do you remember the scene where the boyfriend was stalked by an assortment of giant cats and then mauled by a lion?
Yes.
It triggered something in my brain, and I realized there's been a movie that I haven't been able to sort of figure out how to make it happen quite yet for us, but this is perfect. Did you know that all the way back in 1981, horror icon Tippi Hedren made a movie with animals, but it wasn't The Birds.
No.
She made a film, in fact, with her husband, Noel Marshall, the guy who produced The Exorcist, as a matter of fact.
Holy cow. Wow.
But they wanted to make a film because Tippi Hedren and her husband, Noel Marshall, shared a passion in life, which was saving wild lions, tigers. They let them run loose on their ranch.
I may have heard about this.
You have heard, I hope, about the film Roar.
Yeah, that is. I have heard of it. Yeah.
A naturalist living with big cats in East Africa expects a visit by a family from Chicago. Jason, this is one of the most notoriously dangerous films that was ever made, because these 2 yahoos for years just got in the ring with an assortment of dangerous predators and tried to make a movie about it.
And got hurt.
A lot. Because you're not supposed to just fuck around with lions. But you, sir, are going to fuck around with lions. I'm really excited to finally get this one onto the show. You are going to watch 1981's Roar, starring Tippi Hedren and director Noel Marshall.
I've always wanted to watch it.
Oh, good.
So
all right, great.
It's actually a really interesting behind the scenes thing. So I want to see the movie now.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, perhaps less interesting is the bottom 5, because, sometimes I really like to just keep it simple, stupid. Well, we're just going to do bottom 5 cats. We've never done bottom 5 cats.
I can't believe we haven't done it.
Right. Lots of things to choose from. I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope, Jay, that our listeners will come back and join us next time when you're going to be watching 1981's Roar, and we're going to do our bottom 5 cats.
Awesome.
But until then, we have been your hosts. I am Mike.
And I am Jay.
And we'll see you next time.
Stalno mislim na te, hoću znat sve kate, vježbat ću sate i sate. Karate, vježbat ću dok zadnji mi kjaj zastane i zađe.
It was a lot of fun. Well, everything except for Alien from LA.
Oh my God, I'm still having a bad time and I finished it 3 days ago.
Dad!